I've been studying a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Studying and documenting. I usually study and I don't document. I just studied for studying's sake. Now I'm studying to create a book that could encapsulate an idea that I can't even say it yet because I have to write it out. That's the type of person I am. I'm writing out my ideas. The idea is biblical balance. And what I'm trying to say about biblical balance, I don't know yet. But I know that it's something that people make a big deal about. And when you crystallize it into laws, it loses meaning. But we do have laws, and laws are something that is like the most contextual of arts. It's not that I'm going to use law in this stage of the book, but I'm going to try to use the 5 C's of history to try to keep things organized that even a historian could try to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to overlook a lot just to say one thing and figure out one thing. What's the big deal? Really, there's a big deal of spirituality. Some people might call it archaic thinking, old thinking. I call it exactly how you need to think to get through the situation you need to get through. I'm going to be probably accused of being like a positivist or something, but I'm going to assume that all human beings were doing the best they can with what they knew. All right? Same genome. You know, we know what the DNA do. We're not going to get into the brain. That's another book. But I might have to get into the magic trees of the mind to compare it to the trees of the forest to show how we evolve as a network. But there we go. That's what I want to add to my introduction. Because I kind of wrote it from the beginning, but it's not really an introduction. I could only write the introduction once I have all the attributes that I'm going to introduce and put it into proper context and super context, right? This is what I want to say, though. Let me get to it quickly early in the video. Let me pause and gather these thoughts. I lost it, but I'm going to find it. It started in introducing myself. Who am I? I am a creative. I'm a creative person who analyzes the world around him, and I do it in a very creatively oriented way. There are fallacies and there is logic that should be studied. Law should be studied. I believe in a classical education, and that's just what it is. The classical education opens up for what I would call the 7 Hermetic principles. The 7 Hermetic principles are along the lines of the big deal stuff. These are the big deal things that were left behind, the documents. Sometimes some things are oral. They're oral history. So what's the big deal? Why am I taking oral history so seriously? Why are these stories speaking about? And then we get to the collective unconscious, the collective conscious, the ways we think of the time. These are all fine, but here's the goal is what's the big deal? What's the common thread that man could use to improve man? Let's remove judgmental nature. Let's go through the map of consciousness and find the most level-headed way to do this. Well, according to the map of consciousness, we're at 205 on average as a society. So we're low-key, or we're, in a way, ready for what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is put together all the good advice that humans have for humans so we don't mess up. This is something that I could relate to Bobby Fischer that made him a great chess player. And I don't know if he had anybody he was a trailblazer, so the best we could do is learn from him. He's made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'll try to include as many mistakes as I can, but I don't want it to be like an excuse show, and that might distract from what I'm saying. But I'm only going to show mistakes to show that mistakes is not the journey. It's a journey, and the journey is the big deal. And are you on the journey? The journey is visible and invisible. The journey could be done by traveling around the world. The journey can be done through a service you complete from your bedroom. The journey could be done in the depths of your mind where no one sees. It's not up for me to tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to do because what I tell you to do might be the opposite where you live. Where you live, doing what I do might get you killed. In this land of the free, in the home of the brave, I get to think. I get to read. I do get influenced, and I am subject to influence. And that I'm an adult now, and it happens. You know, people need things done. And that's why we're in this thing called the city. You know? So, I think I got most of it down. I lost most of it, but I know those are the main points of it. Is the way I attack it. I'm an artist, but I'll seriously look through history and then connect the dots. I found it. connecting the dots was the final concept. What does it mean to connect the dots? That evolves over time because dots are geometry, you know? Geometry's for land, right? Laws are for people and like social, but it's more like contextual code of reality. That's why I like laws. I like laws of the land, laws of the seas, and then it expands. And then we have disagreements, but the disagreements are nothing but distractions because instead of focus on the distractions, we need to be focusing on the solutions and increasing the amount of solutions and decreasing the amount of distractions. War is a distraction because the problem's still going to be there and it might be worse than it was before. The disagreement on how to solve the problem might be even a greater disagreement or a new disagreement, or the people who disagree might be dead, which is a total, like I said, distraction, waste of time, and their children have to figure out the same thing. So it's a distraction. I get annoyed just talking about it, but at least you get to know what type of person I am. I don't like war. It's disgusting. It's the last resort. Sun Tzu said it. He tried to avoid it. It could become silent. It could become cold. It's still warfare. Just like I said, I'm influenced all the time. That's warfare, but it's business warfare. It's getting to the bottom line. That's one of the bottom lines of life is the bare necessities. I'm not here to get in the way of that because that might be all you focus on all your life, and you get a chance to look at the internet and you see me talking against your life. I do not wish to do that. I wish to show how people from different parts of the world create different belief systems as documented by all the documentaries of history that I will include, right? I'm not going to give too much, but that's going to be the focus. And from what they document, here are the common threads of failure. Not to fail, but to say, hey, I fail, society fails, civilizations fail, but we don't need to fail in the future because that failure is in the past. I documented it. I can make a checklist of failures from this book. And I'm going to make y'all a checklist because that's how Bobby Fischer became the #1 chess player in the world. He went and he studied mistakes. He studied mistakes on a deep level. In the first 100 pages of his book, which I have in there, I said 100 pages. It's about an estimate. He tells you how to win each successful situation. Oh, if your player's at this position, you're at this position, you're going to win in 5 moves, and you're going to force them to let you win. Reminds me of games like Mancala. If you know about that game, you're counting ahead, you're making moves. I love games like that. Rock, Scissors, Paper is another game like that, but I like Rock, Scissors, Paper because that's all I need to play, and I don't like war. Rock, Scissors, Paper, tic-tac-toe, when anybody could get the advantage at any time, where it's mental, where you might have a device that helps you do better, but then somebody gets a better device than you, so now they're doing better. F1's another example of that. Your car might have a bad day. The tires might be the wrong tread, and you might not have had them out at the right time. It's the closest we get to a fair assessment. There's no such thing as a fair assessment in reality. So many people have killed and genocide and murdered people in the past, and they're gone. But they're not gone. Their lives, the tragedies are still with us, and we get to move beyond it. We get to incorporate what the other person was saying before they were killed. If you get what I'm saying, the warnings of the messengers who were killed out of fury, we could still accept the message. It's not too late to receive the message, and that's all I have to say. Let me try to do a disclaimer. I'm not a historian, but I try to use the 5 C's of history to put my things in a way that's easy to read. What else? I don't know what else to disclaim. Whatever people normally disclaim, I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings and stuff like that. I kind of said when I said I'm not here to tell you how to think. But yeah, I'm not here to judge you for however you are. I'm not here to judge the past. I love this guy. His name is Dante Alighieri. He wrote Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. This is beautiful stuff. This is the most elegant stuff. I want to write my own Divine Comedy now. But it's going to be to add on what Dante did. But Dante just went through all of the underworlds and all the mythology and the lore and whatever it is, the frameworks, the psychological frameworks, whatever you want to call it, because the best of us which I would say the people who become themselves. Like if they are an historian or a historian, I don't know how to say an A and an H together in speech. Sorry for that. If they're an historian or whatever, or a historian, sorry for getting stuck on that. They read it. They read it all, and then they read the best historians, and then they compare, and then they assess with modern day knowledge. I love it. The psychologists. I keep coming up against Jordan Peterson and Maps of Meaning. But I got some other people called, I'm not in my head, but I got some other people who are going to add to the context, and we're all kind of saying the same thing, which is the beauty. And if there's a disagreement, I don't need the disagreement. I need the information. I need the congruity. I need the fact that we're all focused and hype or excited about something going on a spiritual level. Maybe it's in our minds. Maybe, oh my God, I had a John G. Jackson book. In the beginning, the foreword was by atheists, an atheist society, and what the atheist society was against was things that I'm against. I don't really care that he's an atheist anymore, and I really don't care because he's as focused, or the person who wrote the foreword is as focused on receiving the information. And he's going to do whatever he does and stay grounded in his mindset, because it's healthy for him at this point to be an atheist. And I support him. We're looking at the same information, which is very inspirational no matter how you think. It's a big deal. I think it's universal. That's what I'm trying to say. It's pretty universal. It doesn't matter how you think. It's for you. It's a human being like you who probably thought more like you than they thought like me, or probably think more like me than they thought like you. We're going to look at all of them together. And then this is the last point I wanted to make. We're going to map it. We're going to show the internet of ideas. Before, we had libraries. We do have libraries. But now we have code. And code is like the Bible. It's like, let there be light. Let there be array. Let there be binary. First there was binary. Then there was compilers. Then there were functions. Then there were languages. And from the language, if you speak the language, it could make a square on the screen. It could make a square move across the screen. It could make a game like, what's that game that everybody likes right now? Battle Royale game. I said it, I didn't say his name. Fortnite Battle Royale game, which is the modern day big thing. But Fortnite is a very special word, too. I kind of got to go up through Fortnite, because fourth night means 14 days. 14 days is important. Most people get paid every 14 or 15 days. The moon waxes and wanes in 15 or 14 days cycle. Like, we don't get to be up in Fortnite and not understand that we're fighting time. Okay? You're bored. You might be bored and you don't know what to do with yourself. You can ignite yourself with your passion. There's stuff going on inside your body, inside your mind, that's been going on since the beginning of time. And addressing that, balancing it, and being harmonious about it might really benefit you. And that's what all these people were saying. Some people were getting the power shrooms, and they knew what trees to get it from. Some people were looking at the stars for thousands of years. Some people were building temples. Some people were doing rituals with gunpowder. I gotta find that source about the rituals with gunpowder, because I started looking for it today and I couldn't find my source. I was like, I put that in the book. How am I gonna prove it or make it cohere or connect? And I like a lot of things about books is that some things are like stated as facts, and some things are like people assuming or conjecture or trying to bridge it together. So that's the thing I'm going to claim. I'm not going to claim to have all facts. I'm going to try to separate, like I said, fact from fiction. This is what I think. This is what's happening. And what I think is what I feel the big deal is, and why we should all just explore for ourselves this greater mystery of what we are, And yeah, you could say I'm not gonna go any more into it, because I'm gonna start going through the whole book and all the examples, which I just need to put into different groups, different concepts, easy to digest, and then you can follow up on the site. This is gonna be on greenjayproductions.com, green with an E, JAY productions.com, and hgbrotherhood.com. HG Brotherhood's a blog. I'm working on it. You need a lot of you don't need a lot. You need a certain amount of income to run a blog. So that's why I'm producing all this content that will hopefully be of great value to you and you could support as necessary. All right, so that's it for now. That's what needed to be offloaded from my head. This is what I'm working on. It's coming soon. I'm working on it now. There's nothing else I want to do. I feel like this is what I need to be doing with my life right now, and I'm glad I'm focused on it because I have like other offers to make money which keep kind of falling through and they're kind of moving a little slow, but I could always go back, research, put some notes together here and then put it in a document there and put it on the cloud there and put it together on the phone while I'm heading to this side of town. Like literally that's the life I'm living. I'm loving every step of the journey, and I hope that whatever information I give could hopefully give you an appreciation of life no matter who you are, because we're all here in this same little internet of life, and this is the best time to revisit this information as you wish. Not as I wish, as you wish. This is a service, all right? Peace.